This move changes everything. This is the move the Knicks need to make. New York must add Herb Jones. And the Pelicans, they have finally made him available to be traded. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. This episode is presented by FanDuel. We have a goal of trying to reach 40,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy daily Knicks content, please hit that subscribe button. And now, let's get started. This is the move the Knicks need to make. For weeks, all the reports have made it clear. At the trade deadline, the Knicks will look to add a veteran point guard to this team. But I've been against that move. I don't think the Knicks need to add a veteran guard to this team. I want the Knicks to add a wing with size to the roster. Many of you have asked me, what player do I want the Knicks to add to this team? I finally have an answer for you. Herb Jones. And thankfully, he will be available for trade at the deadline. Shout out to NBA Insider with Forbes, Evan Cedarty, for giving us this following information. According to him, contending teams are planning to target Herb Jones on the trade market and very prepared to make aggressive pitches to the Pelicans. With New Orleans not owning a 2026 first-round pick, at 3-20, they could net a strong pool of assets in return for an elite 3-and-D wing in Herb Jones. Shout out to Sports Illustrated and Jake Fisher for also giving us this information on what the Pelicans plan to do at the trade deadline. According to them, NBA insider Jake Fisher states the following: the Pelicans, who don't own a 2026 draft pick, would be willing to shop both Jones and Trey Murphy to build draft assets for the future. Here's what Jake Fisher had to say exactly. There are definitely teams that have told me as recently as of today that New Orleans is now starting to listen and at least show some willingness to listen on Herb Jones and Trey Murphy regarding trade offers. This is the type of player that we need. And you know what makes it absolutely clear? When you look at the Knicks, how they play against certain teams and how their second unit looks. Sometimes on the floor, Karl Anthony Towns is the biggest player on the court for the Knicks. And then after him, it might be Mikal Bridges. It might be Josh Hart. What I'm trying to say is New York at times runs out a very small lineup. And they have to stop doing that because other teams, very good teams, they look at that and they take advantage of that. But if you add a player like Herb Jones, you want to talk about 3-and-D. You want to talk about defense. And his three-point shooting has gotten better and better and better each and every single year. You want to add a player that's an impactful player, somebody that can make a difference, somebody that can change things defensively. If you add him to the team, Herb Jones checks every single box. And imagine this. Listen to this. At one point in time, if they're all available and on the court at the exact same time, listen to this lineup defensively. OG Anunoby, Herb Jones, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Deuce McBride. Could you imagine what a lineup like that could do for New York? Jones is on a team-friendly contract after signing an extension worth 3 years, $68 million last offseason. The deal means he's not eligible to be traded until January 14th. But reports are that teams like Golden State, the Lakers, have shown interest in the defensive standout. Jones is currently out with an injury. Well, he was out with an injury. More on that in a little bit. But his track record suggests that he can stay healthy. He's improved his scoring and three-point shooting since joining the Pelicans. demonstrating that he can become a solid 3-and-D player in this league. Now, remember when I just said he was currently out with an injury? Yes, that's right. He was. But last night, he finally returned for the Pelicans. And I just gotta say, his first game back after an injury, and he looked absolutely phenomenal. He had 4 steals on the night in his first game back. He is a defensive specialist, and the Knicks need him on this team. Shout out to Sports Illustrated for giving us this following information. Herb Jones returned from an 8-game absence due to a strained right calf, and he dropped 17 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals in 26 minutes. And Trey Murphy, his teammate, said he was sorely missed. Even though Jones, a former first-team all-defensive selection, couldn't single-handedly fix New Orleans' leaky defense, his return was still significant. Listen to what their head coach had to say. Herb doesn't ease his way into stuff. He only knows one way to play. He had us all energized and focused. Just having his spirit back was a huge lift for the Pelicans. This is the type of player. This is the type of energy. This is the type of defense the Knicks need on the team. So his first game back, he dropped 17, 6, 4, and 4. I will take that from Jones every single day of the week. He just returned and he did that. Imagine what he can do as he gets more consistent playing time. He is going to be a monster, and he's a monster I want the Knicks to trade for. So speaking about that trade, this is the next part of the conversation that always comes up. Okay, recap, you want Herb Jones. I understand he's making a lot of money. How do you figure the Knicks are going to get him? So I have 2 trade scenarios that allow New York to land Herb Jones. Now, I want to mention this first before I show you guys these trade scenarios. The only way New York will make this trade for Herb Jones is if they know, without a doubt, Mitchell Robinson will be leaving this team in the offseason, and there is no way to get him back. If that's the case, then New York, they need to make these trades. Let's take a look at the first one. So in this trade, the Knicks would get Herb Jones and Jose Alvarado. And in this trade, New York would send over Mitchell Robinson, Gerson Yabusele, and likely picks. The picks would likely be that protected Wizards pick and maybe a handful of second-round picks. But that's likely the trade package here for New York to get Herb Jones and Jose Alvarado on this team. Now, regardless of if you think the Pelicans would do this trade, here's why New York, if they could pull off this trade, they likely would do it. Number 1, Herb Jones. I mean, once again, that's the main reason New York is making this trade, because you want a defensive specialist on your bench in Herb Jones. And I mean, it's not a secret, right? New York has wanted a veteran guard at the trade deadline since they lost Malcolm Brogdon. So Jose Alvarado, even though he's not a traditional point guard, he can pass the ball, he gives you solid defense, and over the years, he's become a better three-point shooter, so he can give you that too. In this type of deal, the Knicks win every time. They get more size, they get off a few contracts that they're not going to be using in the future, and they get another veteran guard for right now. And the best thing about Alvarado, he's an expiring. So if it doesn't work out this season, they can waive him at the end of this season and reset and look for another player in free agency. But if you don't like that trade, or maybe you don't like the Knicks to go after 2 players, you just want New York to go after Herb Jones only. If that's the case, I have another trade for you. So in this trade, the Knicks would receive Herb Jones and the Pelicans would receive Mitchell Robinson, Pacome Dadier, and more than likely, they would be receiving some picks in this situation. Probably the same level of picks that I mentioned in that first trade scenario. Now, in this situation, a lot of Knicks fans actually appreciate this one more. You get off of Mitchell Robinson, who may not rejoin the team at the end of the season. You get off of Pacome Dadier, and you get a player like Herb Jones, and you still have flexibility with the roster to add another player during the season. So I'm sure a trade like this definitely appeals to New York. And for me, I would love for New York to make this trade. I've said it a number of times, and I really do mean it. I love Mitchell Robinson on this team. When healthy, he is one of our best players defensively. But here's the thing. We've seen this team enough without Mitchell Robinson, and I think we understand it. Even though Robinson is a monster on the offensive glass, and nobody on this team even comes close to touching what he can do there, as he gets older, his defense, I'm not saying it's not good. It is good. It's just not as good. He's not moving as fast. He can't stay in front of defenders as well. And other players, I think we've seen it, they have no problem driving on Robinson, taking him to the rim, and still being able to score on him. I'm not saying right now is the time you need to trade him. All I'm saying is the writing is on the wall. He needs to get paid again. He's only getting older. He's being load managed right now so we can prevent him from being injured for the postseason. I mean, there's so many things the Knicks need to do to juggle to keep him healthy, to keep him happy. Maybe at some point, you have to wash your hands of it and make a move to get out of this situation. And imagine you make a move and the player waiting for you on the other end is Herb Jones. That's a move I will always make. And I'm not saying Huck Porty is ready for the spotlight, but clearly he's developing the right way. He's moving the right way. And if we have a player like Herb Jones on this team, I have no problem elevating Huck Porty to that backup center position. I'm not saying he's going to be Mitchell Robinson. I'm not saying it's even going to be perfect. But when you're the Knicks, when you're a championship level team, and you know certain things are going to happen anyways, you need to make moves in response to that. So potentially, this is one of these moves the Knicks will make at the deadline. Shout out the channel sponsor FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, for giving us this updated information and these latest odds on who's going to win the NBA Cup quarterfinals matchup between the Knicks and the Raptors tonight. And as you can see by the money line, the Knicks are the slight favorites at -168, with the Raptors at +142. The Knicks and the Raptors for tonight's game will be missing a number of players, which means there is no excuse. They're missing players. We're missing players. It's an NBA Cup, and everybody who would listen has heard Knicks players, Mike Brown, and everybody else say, we care about this. This is important to us, and we are going to go out there and play as hard as we can. If that's the case, then I better see a Knicks team operating on a different level. I don't know about you guys, but this year, I want it all. I want the Knicks to win the NBA Cup, and I want the Knicks to go all the way to the NBA Finals. And I want the Knicks to win an NBA championship. And New York, they have a great chance to actually get that done. I believe in New York. I am never going to stop believing in them. And if you believe in them, let me know in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.